Good morning, everybody. Today's Saturday, November 15th, 2025. I've been thinking about doing this video for a while, ever since they opened up the toll road extension a couple of months ago. So I'm at the intersection of the Suncoast Parkway and State Road 44, otherwise known as Gulf to Lake Highway. The bike path and toll road used to end here. This was as far as it went. Now that they've extended it up to the next road, which is Norval Bryant, which is I think the new extension is maybe 4 or 5 miles long. It's not very long. But anyways, that's where the trail used to end. There's a parking lot over across the road. You can see that white SUV. That's the park and ride for the bike trail. Or if you're just park and ride, if you work in Tampa, I suppose you meet your friends and travel down the expressway to get to Tampa. But anyways, now the trail doesn't end there. You take the sidewalk back down to the traffic signal by the Suncoast signs, cross, and get back on the bike path and start heading west towards the Gulf. Just a little ways that way, and then we'll turn and get on this new section. I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so like I was saying, cross the street, you cross State Road 44, head towards the west just a little bit, and they really could use a sign right here to tell you to take this 90-degree right-hand turn and climb this hill. This is the new extension to the Suncoast Trail that runs alongside the Suncoast Parkway. It's been open a couple of months. Unfortunately, it's a dead end right now. At the end of this trail, or this extension, they've set up a construction site where they're working relatively fast, it seems, to get working on the next extension for the toll road and the bike path. And like the rest of the north end of this trail, it's pretty hilly by Florida standards. On that Suncoast Trail, it runs alongside the parkway. Once you get north of Spring Hill, really, it becomes very hilly. Long climbs and descents, up and down. And this extension is no different. Whew, I'm a little out of breath from climbing that hill, but the top of this hill gives a good vantage point of the new extension to the Suncoast Parkway. Now this video is about the bike path, but one thing I will say about the toll road extension, I think they made mistakes with the signage. So when you get to State Road 44 on the toll road, you used to have to get off on 44 because that's where it ended. Now they've labeled that Inverness, the Inverness exit. And once you get up to the new end, or the current end of the parkway, that's the Crystal River exit. That doesn't make any sense to me because that's Norval Bryant, which just travels kind of south back to 44. You might as well get off the same exit you always did for Highway 44 to get into Crystal River. Either way, it'll get you there. I just don't understand why they make you go 5 miles out of the way for the Crystal River exit. But anyways, that's just me. But you can see the bike path. If you've ever ridden the Suncoast Trail, there's really no difference. It just now goes 4 miles, a little bit further, and dead ends. But once they open up that next extension of the road and trail, this will be awesome because this will take you up to Norval Bryant, which has a bike path that runs up alongside of it. They've also got a bike path now running alongside a section of Lecanto Highway that intersects with Norval Bryant. I love how much paved bike path we have in Florida, and it just keeps growing bigger and bigger and bigger. They did a good job of paving this. It's nice and smooth. I don't know how well it'll show up on the camera, but directly in front of me across the toll road is the sign that I was talking about. Crystal River and Hernando. Well, this makes sense to be the exit for Hernando because you take a right on Norval Bryant and that takes you straight into Hernando. But like I was saying, the exit before this one to me makes more sense for Crystal River, but I don't know. One thing to keep in mind about this stumble over words, this Suncoast Trail. In the summertime, it is brutal. It runs right beside the toll road, hardly any shade, no places to stop. And here's what you will find when you get to this dead end on this trail now. Just a construction site. We're so close to the next road. Norval Bryant is the name of the next road, and it's really like 1/8 of a mile ahead of me. But closer than 1/8 of a mile is this gate that says you can't go any further because it's an active construction area. But it's a little glimpse into the future. Soon this will be another connector trail between two major roads in Citrus County. It's pretty cool. I love our bike infrastructure and I love that it's growing. I guess I should spin around, just ride in circles, give everybody a good view of the no trespassing construction. Ooh, if you trespass, it's a felony.